G'day guys, Gordon here with Guardians of Freedom. How you doing out there? Hope everyone's doing well and that you're in a good place. I know these are challenging times, so I say that knowing that it can be tough, and I acknowledge that. And I'm just out here on our property on the sunny coast, and I thought it's a great time to continue the discussion I opened up and sharing my thoughts on New World Order conditioning, New World Order culturing and programming. I'm out here listening to the birds singing, and I can hear the bees buzzing. Right behind me and all around me are macadamia trees, and they're flowering at the moment, so we've got a lot of bees out. Day like today, we've probably got a lot of snake activity. It's kind of warm, or warm-ish, so they'll be out and about doing their thing. Wallabies, kangaroos, possums, all around. And that's nature at work, and so it's a perfect setting for a discussion on New World Order conditioning and our natural human essence. Last video I talked from a rational point of view, and I shared a dream, which I hope maybe was interesting. But I indicated logically how we are unable to really do what we need to do as a people to get this win against this New World Order that's rolling out. And effectively at the time I put a list together to try to address, and that was all from a rational place of different issues to address that might help us to unite and to actually do what we got to do. That list effectively is a list of New World Order conditioning. And I'm just going to make a couple of disclaimers. So the first disclaimer I'm going to make is I am not coming here saying that I know everything. I am putting ideas out there and conclusions that I've reached through a lot of thought, a lot of philosophizing, if that's a word. I spent a lot of time thinking and trying to put things together. So these are my beliefs and they are my opinions, but I will say that I believe in a saying which is everybody's entitled to an opinion and a belief, but to me it's not worth anything if that opinion or belief is not up for testing, is not up for debate, is not up for being scrutinized. And when I put my ideas out, they are. I've always been that way for many years, and I believe that is the way forward to growth. And I also will say that when I make this series of videos, particularly around the New World Order conditioning, I'm not making it to judge people or to condemn people. There may be criticism of behaviors and actions, which I believe is a very separate, different thing. I'm speaking to you guys as friends and brothers and sisters. And I'm also a massive believer, personally for myself, to evaluate any positive criticism that comes my way. That's how we grow. So that's my first disclaimer. And as I mentioned, I'm not perfect. I've made plenty of mistakes in the movement and in life, and will possibly make more. And I'm continuously evolving. And I would also like to take the opportunity to apologize to people that I may have wrongfully gotten up, wrongfully attacked on a personal basis. Instead of looking at behaviors and criticisms, I may have personally attacked them. So I make that apology wholeheartedly. I make that apology, and I hope people can accept that apology with the understanding that we have a much bigger picture that we need to focus on, and so we can move past those things. I say where I've wrongfully done so, but in saying that, even maybe where I wasn't wrong, I certainly look at my approach, and it was probably not the best approach in many cases, where it was fueled by frustration, and maybe I let anger get the better of me. So even then I still apologize for the approach. Now, a bit of backdrop to that, I'm very much in a calm place, mentally and spiritually at this point in time, and we're in 2025 now. This is August the 26th, 2025. In 2020, if anybody was following me from that period, 2020 to 22, I was pretty hectic, and my, I guess, disposition was quite different. I was one of the guys and girls in the movement. There's quite a few of us out there who are well educated on the New World Order well before 2020. And I can also see there's quite a few that are not. And that's for another video on that. But with that knowledge, I sat down in 2020 and I kind of realized that we have a small window of opportunity to really stop this rollout of the New World Order. And I was looking ahead and realized that I know how they operate and I know what they're capable of. And so I knew that we are going to go through a lot of suffering as a human race if we don't put the brakes on it early. And I saw that window of opportunity, and I knew we had a very small time frame. So I was hectic. I was under the pump, basically 24/7. And I would wake up and we'd have phone calls, we'd have meetings, we'd have online meetings, in-person meetings, non-stop planning, this, that, the other. It was non-stop. And I pretty much stopped my self-care, which is, for me, being in nature, rainforests, beaches, and gym and sauna. And I was really not doing as much of those things, and I was drinking a fair bit, which I've stopped in 2023. So I've kind of returned to a very calm place. And I want to talk about today my spiritual beliefs around the New World Order conditioning that's put us into a state outside of human nature. So that's where I was coming from then. And when we had our original action plan A, I've mentioned it before, it was hands-on. It was required large numbers of people, and it was required immense courage from those who wanted to participate. And it was a very foolproof way to end things early. It was 100% lawful. I'm going to add that in to make sure people understand that. It was 100% lawful, and there was a small window of opportunity to get it done. So when we were doing that, people that were close to me looked at things and said, wow, do you think that it's feasible? And I said, yeah, 100% feasible, but I don't believe we're going to do it. And my reasoning for that was, it was feasible. I believe at least 10% of the population or more are awake, so that's 2.5 million. That's more than the numbers we needed for that. We had some awesome volunteers, people with courage, stepping forward to get involved, but we just didn't get to the numbers. So I would tell people, it's feasible, but I don't believe in my intuition and my rational thinking that we'll get it done. And I had that spiritual belief already at that time, which I'm going to share with you guys today. And I believe that the main blockage to us doing what we need to do is New World Order conditioning. So when we talk about that, to me, it's really simple. This is how simple things should have been. We're all under attack. We need to unite. We need to sit down, drop the egos, and start discussions on what works, what doesn't. Listen to those people who know things. As I said, I don't sit here thinking I'm the only one. There's a few people I really respect in the movement, and for me, it's pretty easy to actually, I can see people's posts and I can immediately see who's been awake well before 2020 and who have just started, their education now, which is, I'm not judging that at all, but we do need to start looking to those who know things. Max Egan is one of the ones that I value his opinions, because he's also been very much studying this subject for a long time, and he's a very intelligent mind as well, and that's important too. So then people would then say to me, hey mate, this action plan, it sounds like you're taking on board a lot of risk and stress and pressure, and but you feel inside you that we're not going to do it as a human race. Why are you pursuing it, and why are you taking on that risk? And so for me, the answer is really simple, and I have no regrets, even though I did land myself in a bit of shit. The answer is really simple. The answer is, for me as a man, I don't want to be sitting in that future place not knowing that I did everything I could do. And I've done that. So it's time to move on, guys, and we've set up a new action plan A, how to stop things, which is the People's Vote of No Confidence campaign. It's on our website, guardians-of-freedom.com. Otherwise, we're moving into plan B, which is community, food and living cooperatives. And yeah, so that's where I come from on that. And my spiritual belief, I guess, in a nutshell, maybe I'll give you guys a bit of background on my religion, which I'm not a religious person by any means. I would consider myself a spiritual person who respects all religions and beliefs, as long as they're not out there hurting people. I grew up in a household that was Christian based, I guess, my mum in particular. My dad is from Germany. He's born as a Catholic, and that's, I think, what they followed in their family. And my mum's family, they followed, she's from Singapore, she's Indian Singaporean, and they followed, they were all Christian. So we went to church and things like that when we were young. My dad would come along sometimes and make fun of it a fair bit of time. And as we got older, I think we kind of rebelled, my brother and myself, and we stopped going, I guess, when we were teenagers. And yeah, in my early life, I went down a pretty naughty path. I went onto the bad side of the track, so to speak. But I think those foundations brought me back, and that's from my mum. My mum, as I mentioned, as a Christian, though, she actually explored different religions, different teachings, and also spirituality in general. So that maybe gave me a foundation for where I'm at. She used to bring us to other religious, events and things like that, which we thought was kind of weird when we were young. But looking back, I can see the wisdom in that. I mean, even me saying that will cause a bit of a kerfuffle, that I respect all religions, and this is probably one of the conditionings. that I'll be talking about as we get through the series. So, in a nutshell, my spiritual belief is from back then, even in 2020. Before 2020, I could see how far the human being has been strayed by purpose away from what we are, and we've been conditioned into this very abnormal creature that's chasing materialism, chasing highs of different kinds, chasing pleasure, chasing comfort, have lost our normal, natural human union and the natural way we operate with each other. I could see that very early, well before COVID. So my spiritual belief in a nutshell, guys, is that we have a battle between evil and good, and the universe, or the creator, source, or God, whatever you want to refer to as, is effectively calling for us to return to our true human essence, our true human nature. And when we do that, we will win. We have been given an opportunity or a choice by the Creator, by God, by Source, by nature, by the universe, to do that, to return. Otherwise, my belief is we will be forced to. Okay, and as we can see, we are going through a period of turmoil. People are suffering already, and the suffering is being created by the evil that's being rolled out. So the choice is we return to our human essence, or we will be forced to as we go through this suffering. Well, those who want to actually get through the other end, I believe, will be forced to eventually extinguish and take off the conditionings that they've enveloped themselves with in order for us to function together and make it through together. So that's my spiritual belief. We will be forced to make the change, those that want to survive. Those that choose to stay in the New World Order conditioning will participate in all the things that are about to happen. And we can see that happening already in this movement. We can see there's a bit of a split going on. So again, August 26, 2025, and we can see what's happening. And I'm not judging when I make this comment, but we can clearly see there's a group, I guess, that are in the aware stage still, out of self-preservation, which is not natural human behavior. It's part of it, but it's not the full natural essence of a human. And then we have the other group, which is moved past that, and they're into what I consider truly awake. They see the bigger picture. They see the spiritual elements to things, and they are shedding the New World Order conditioning. Okay, and when I talk about the aware group, I'm not judging them, because many of them are potentially moving across as well and getting to that true sense of awakening. And so I don't say this, I'm not putting this spiritual belief out there to, kind of like, if you don't do this, the thunder will come down and strike you. But when you look at it from a logical perspective, that's effectively, the two correlate, the two tie together. You can look at it from a rational perspective, and it makes perfect sense. If we want to win, we've got to get past those conditionings. But my spiritual belief is that is the universe at work. That is the universe's way, or God's way of saying, hey, come back, return, and then we win. And I know we will. And that's the choice that we have to make. Do we take that up of our own accord, or do we get to the point where we're forced to, out of survival? I personally am asking, I can almost say, well, I'm asking graciously that we start looking within ourselves with self-reflection on what kind of New World Order conditionings might be affecting us, and I'm doing the same, so that we can get to that winning sooner than later. So we have a choice that I believe we're presented with by the Creator, which is, do you want to prolong the suffering or return and put an end to it faster? So I kind of am at peace with things also because of that. That's my belief. And I'm also of the belief that we will be okay, and we will go through this and come out the other end, because I feel that spiritually. And I won't say too much more on that, but yeah, so I hope it's interesting, my share with you guys today. It gives me a lot of calm, because I've just kind of gone to an acceptance place, and it gives me a lot of calm. So I have also decided consciously to draw some lines, and I think early on, Guardians of Freedom was pretty much open to anybody. If you had a good heart and you stood against the Great Reset and the New World Order, you're more than welcome. The lines I guess I'm drawing they're going to come out in this video series. Effectively, I'm not looking to be in union with those who are hanging on to New World Order conditioning, because that conditioning will lead people to participate in the New World Order chaos and evil. So I'm not wanting to be a part of that. So I'm not actually telling anybody anything. I don't do that. I just will put these discussions out, and I think I have had discussions with certain people, and they effectively just move their way and I move my way, and the door's always open. That's something I got to mention, that I don't hold things. You'd have to do something pretty serious for me to really close that door, but my door's always open, and people I've seen have come around looking at things, and as I say, I'm not saying I know everything and my way is the right way. It's up for discussion, but the problem is, once you go into those discussions, what I find is people will then get to a certain point and they'll just go, I'm not having the rest of this discussion. That's not productive, and it doesn't lead to growth. So in the next video, guys, it'll be the last introductory video. I'm going to talk about the methods that are used to carry out the various multiple conditionings, culturing, programming of the human being. We'll look at the methodology first, and then we will go one by one in terms of importance and talk about each of the different conditionings. Thanks, guys, for tuning in, and stay well, stay happy every day, find that place of joy, and look after yourselves. I'll catch up with you soon. And don't forget, I'd love to hear people's thoughts as well. So throw some comments up, and I always read through them. I find it's very interesting and it opens the mind up. So take care out there, guys, and I'll catch you soon.